Welcome to Life Under the Laundry Pile, airing it all out one conversation at a time.
Guys, welcome back. This is episode 7, and we're going to talk back to school with coffee and Rumchata. So we've had severe technical difficulties for the past couple of episodes, so we're kind of loopy today.
Right, we're exhausted.
We apologize. So
let's start with what we're drinking.
Coffee with a little bit of Rumchata.
A lot of Rumchata. It's a copper shot, which is like more than a usual shot. So.
Copper shot. I love Rumchata. It's so good.
No, we know you do.
So we
make a lot of faces when you drink it. You make a lot of noises when you drink it. Like we'll be out in public and she'll bring it up and then she'll just go, and just close her eyes for a little bit. And we're like, wait, do you need a moment?
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Should we be looking away?
Well, this is like our boohoo Yahoo back to school. So I'm definitely a little tiny boohoo, but definitely more Yahoo.
I'm all Yahoo. I think I might be broken because everyone's like, oh, my babies. I'm like, no.
I slightly miss them. When I pick them up in the afternoon, but this is awful. When I pick them up in the afternoon, I'm like, oh, now I got to pick them up.
It takes like 5 minutes to stop missing them.
Yeah, they get in the van and I'm like, oh, and now it begins.
Right.
Because it does.
Yeah.
Like last year, every time they get in the van, they just start complaining. I'm like, really? This year so far, so good.
Well, I mean, we're not even a weekend, so...
Yeah, you give it time. We'll get there. So, just a quick reminder before we start chatting about where you can find us on social media. We have a Facebook page and Instagram, and they're both Life Under the Laundry Pile. We have Twitter. It's at Life_the_Laundry. We also have a website, and it's a really long website name, so just go to our Facebook page and you can find the link to it.
Just click the link. Don't be lazy. Just click the link.
And we also have a new Pinterest page that, I guess about a couple of weeks ago, we started it.
Right as I was leaving for vacation, because I'm in the car driving, and she texts, and I'm actually, like, going through Mississippi, so there's, like, no internet connection. She's like, if you're sitting in the seat watching the world go by, you could be, penning. And I'm like, I have no connection. Trust me, I'd rather be penning.
That's okay. I pin the hell out of some shit. So.
And I did. Like, I got some kid lunches on there. And I started 2 great boards that we need to touch on. The what are you reading and what are your kids reading? Because we're both big readers and we try to, the kids are too. So
yes, absolutely. So, and that's where we'll put, like I said before, or we said before on maybe last episode.
Yeah.
Things that we mentioned.
Yeah.
We'll have a board up for things we mentioned. And
recipes
I forget what we called it.
I don't know.
It's there. You can find it.
Just follow us on Pinterest and you'll see it. So.
Yes,
and then we'll each have, our own personal boards off of there too.
Yes, we do have a board on there for each of our personal blogs.
And blogs we like.
Yeah.
It's got a lot. Just go look at it. So second day of school.
Yep.
How did that go for you this morning?
Let's just say that the second page rolls out of bed. First word out of her mouth is no.
Right.
And I just thought, oh dear God,
that sounds about right.
Kind of early for this.
Right.
But she did go ahead and get up, and she was fine. So far so good. We've been okay. So
I expect a little bit of challenge for her and Jack because they're going from kindergarten to first grade, and that's a big.
It is
big step. I mean, you go from really not that kindergarten is one free for all, but. Like, now you have to ask her permission to go to the bathroom.
Right.
And it's not running around and being silly. And there's they learn in kindergarten too. But, it's different. It's a completely different setting for them. So.
Well, we're lucky because they both ended up with the same teacher.
Yes.
And she's a great teacher that my kids have had before.
I keep hearing this. I'm so grateful for that. Mm-hmm. And they're together.
Yes. I know. Poor Paige. I asked her, I said, do you have anybody really in there besides Jack? Like girls that you know? And she said there are a couple little girls in the class.
Yeah, they have a couple that are from their class last year.
Yeah, not many, which is crazy.
I know, it's so weird.
They just totally dispersed the whole class, So I think she only probably
some of that is good, some of that's bad.
Yeah, I was just kind of shocked that more people that she knew were not in that class. So
I think they do the best they can, but I mean, and sometimes they look at it as who will benefit from what teacher.
Right. And I'm glad Miss Aber has lots of patience. And
yes,
she will need it with Paige.
She's going to need it with Jackie.
Yeah, she'll need it with Paige too. Sorry, Miss Aber, if you're listening to us.
I was like, he talks a lot.
Oh, see, Paige is the opposite. She kind of just gets in, she withdraws.
Yeah.
And you have to kind of pull her out, so.
She's sweet and precious, and I adore her.
We'll see. We'll see.
It'll be great.
Yeah.
Pickup line was fun last night or yesterday.
No, it wasn't. It was awful.
It was like an hour.
It was. It was literally 50 minutes. Yeah. I counted. In years past, kindergarten has been early release, so we were getting out at 1:50, and that line was in the front of the school. Well, this year they went to all day kindergarten. Right. Just trying to give you a little heads up on why the line is long. I don't.
That and our attendant, our what do you want to call it? There's more kids this year than was last year, and not by a ton, but between that and kindergarten, it led to a very long line. It was rainy.
Yeah.
And it's the first day.
Well, and like we were talking about before, during kindergarten pickup line, those parents would stop in front of you and chit-chat for like 15, 20 minutes. Right. And you could go around them sometimes, but you can't go around them in the pickup line in the afternoons. They've got it like barricaded, so you can't physically go around. So you're just kind of stuck there. I mean, literally, if you want to have a conversation with your kindergarten teacher, that is not the place to do it. Right. I mean,
I never picked Jackie up once last year at the school, so he always took the bus home.
I did every day, and trust me, there were tons of parents. And most of the time, the teachers would say, pull up here and we'll discuss things. And literally, that's probably what they should have to do this year, because it's...
You know what, though? They need to say, you need to email me or call me. Because quite frankly, if the teacher's out there, well, it's because she has a job to do, and that's to deal with there's safety issues at pickup and drop off. There's you need to keep that line. It's not the time for conferences. It's time to get the kids safely in the cars and on their way.
Well, what's the saddest part is these teachers are now having to stay until after 4 o'clock because the pickup line is not ending until close to 4 o'clock. Right. So these poor teachers, last year, man, that teacher in the pickup line had it on the ball. We were in and out of there. I can remember getting there at 3:20 some days. Yeah. And there was no one in sight, and me freaking out thinking I was late. But, typically 3:20-ish is about when it starts to slow down. But this year, forget it. The line doesn't even start rolling at 3:20.
It'll get better.
I hope so.
No, I think it will. It's just you got the first week stuff. You got a whole brand new system in place. They'll get it figured out, and it's going to be better, I'm sure. So
I hope so.
And also, people stop picking up their kids. They start letting them take the bus.
Yeah,
because they don't give a shit.
That's
that
true.
First week, everybody cares. Yeah. But once that first week is done, my kids are going to be on the bus. Yeah. Like, they're just not going to drive up there after that first week. So
I know. And it's ugh, don't even get me started. It's like, you pickup line.
Aubrey started high school yesterday.
She did.
Yeah.
She did.
How'd that go?
Kingwood High is an enormous school. Yeah. And unfortunately, she and her friends went in these 3-inch heeled boots. And after, poor thing, I went when the day that we went for not orientation, but they call it staying camp. Right. So you walk around, and the girl was nice enough to show us where all the classes were. Let's just say I had a blister on the back of my heel from the same shoes from when we went to San Antonio.
Yes, the ones I told you need to
burn. From walking to her classes and back. And I told her, I said, when she got ready that day, I said, you're gonna be sorry for wearing those shoes. Oh, I'm fine. I know what I'm doing. I was like, yeah, right. Sure enough, she gets in the car. Well,
she's a teenager, so she does know everything.
She knows everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. But other than that, 2 days in, she's adjusting. She is not as bad, and she knows a little bit more about where her classes are, so she can streamline it.
Yes, yeah.
And it'll get better. So other than that, she's good.
Good, I'm glad.
And they're so weird to have a high schooler. Like, I am that parent that I used to see and think, wow, you're old because you have a high schooler. But
now you're old.
I know. And I've had people look at me and say, I can't believe you have a high schooler. And I was like, yeah, I do.
Well, and the thing
That's because I had her when I was like 10, please.
Well, and you have the skin of like an early
75-year-old?
No, shut up. Like, I mean, you look like you might be in your early 30s, maybe, like if you're barely there. So it's kind of tough to like accept that you have a high schooler.
You want to know one of the weirdest things ever? Walking into kindergarten several years ago, there were parents in there with gray hair. Yeah. And I remember thinking, wow, I'm like one of the younger ones, because typically people don't know how old I am, but I typically know that I am older than a lot of the parents. And so it is weird, but that year I felt really good.
Right.
I was like, yes.
It's because you've aged very well compared to some of us who have to dye that crap, so...
I do. I have to dye. Trust me, my kids have given me lots of gray hair. You just can't tell it because I have blonde hair. That's one of the blessings of having blonde hair. You cannot see when you start to go gray. So
bonus.
Yep.
Well, Jackie had a hissy fit when he got in the car because I put cheese on his roll-up. So, like, I literally screwed up.
What are you thinking?
Right off the bat. I know. He got in and he got buckled, and he's like, Mama, I did not eat my roll-up. And I'm like, the second he said it, I knew why. Because what happened is when I was making them, I made these, first week of school, everybody cares what we put in our lunches. So I was making these fancy-dancy turkey BLT roll-ups that Maggie had asked for.
Damn
and I had them in a row. And so I dumped cheese on hers, and I dumped cheese on his. And I'm like, son of a nugget. And I'm scooping all the cheese off his because he doesn't eat cheese, even though mac and cheese is his jam. Anything that's not mac and cheese cannot have cheese on it. So weird. But he'll eat American cheese, which is not really cheese. So I'd scooped it all off, and there was like 4 little pieces in the middle of this roll-up that was stuck to the ranch dressing. I'm like, he's not going to notice that. He'll just eat it.
Right.
No, sure as shit. He got in that van, and he's like, there was cheese in my roll-up.
Oh, my God. It's almost like, okay, they open their lunchbox, and they, like, dissect it.
That's what
with,
he
like,
did.
tweezers. Like,
What
is this?
My kid does not trust me.
I don't know why.
He knows I'm going to screw up. So he literally dissected his turkey roll-up to find out whether or not I put
3
cheese in it.
pieces of cheese.
Right. Yeah. So then he had to watch me on the second day, make it so that I did not screw up again.
That's so funny.
Because he's like, I was so hungry because I did not eat that roll-up. And I'm like,
boy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I've heard that before. And I'm like, why didn't you just pick off what you wanted off of it?
Right, exactly.
You couldn't have been that hungry. That's that little drama coming out of them.
I know
that.
Jerks.
That is so funny.
So the first day, we had the drop-off. And then we... had the Boohoo Yahoo party.
The PTA volunteer breakfast.
Just coffee and juice. Just coffee and juice. And that was fine. We both did that. And then somebody ran her ass out the door and went and got her hair cut.
I did. I got it.
And then the other devoted parent in this podcast went into the workroom and hot glued a bunch of composition books together.
That's your damn fault. First day of
I got
school,
a phone call. What are you supposed to say?
I'm sorry, but I'm getting my hair did.
Like, I'm sorry. It's the first day. I'm going to go home and drink myself silly.
Exactly. Not being ugly, but
no.
yeah.
So I just waited to drink until lunch when we went and had our boozy lunch.
Yes,
so,
we did in the pouring rain, walking through 5 inches of water.
We waded through 5 inches of water in the parking lot of a Mexican restaurant so we could have gigantic margaritas.
And my friend Lindsay, she said yesterday, that's why I didn't go, girl. She said, I saw that rain coming on the radar, and she
when
stayed
she
home.
canceled. Yes.
I said, really? I said, we waded through. The water was up to my knees.
No, we were devoted.
Exaggerating, but not exaggerating.
We're both idiots. We're both wearing sandals, so we're slipping all over the place.
Oh,
but we're like, my God, we are.
I want Mexican and margaritas.
Yes.
Damn it. We should have put down a garbage can lid and floated across. We could have used our umbrellas as like paddles. Yeah. That's how bad it was in that parking lot.
We were getting to the nachos and margaritas, but yeah.
It was bad. That parking lot. That's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it worked out very well. That was nice.
Yes. And then Janelle shows up in her damn rain boots. I'm like, I need those. That's what I needed to have when we, walked across the lake just now.
Oh, and I had jeans on, so they were all soggy.
Yeah, I know.
I had to tell the story about Miss D when I walked in to go get my sticker to go back to the workroom, and she's like, I have to tell you that the teachers are asking for us not to go in the classrooms, to just stick to the workroom and not, check on our kids. And I was like, Miss D, like, seriously, you've had my kids for 20 minutes. I do not need to see them.
I do not want them back.
And she started laughing, and she's like, I know you don't, but I just have to tell everybody.
That is funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely not. No, you can definitely have them.
Like, you've got them. They are yours.
I apologize, but you can keep them.
Yeah, no, you have to. Like the state says, you got to keep them. So yeah, that was the beginning of school. The end of summer went by pretty quick. I went on vacation to Florida.
Did not take any pictures for me. Yeah. I told you guys that I would put some pictures up while she was gone, but guess what? That's not my fault.
Right. I just had the one of me sit by the pool, and you're like, your toes are ugly.
I don't want Shrek.
Right.
Yeah. No,
my
I'm just
Shrek
kidding.
toes.
I'm just kidding. I don't recall what they look like.
They were bad. They were bad. So, I didn't see, I mean, it was such a quick vacation. I don't know. We saw we did not see mostly everyone, but we managed to see some family and saw some friends. Did not get to see everybody. Did not get to do everything we wanted to do, but it just went really fast. And
It did.
once we got there, it was really hard to get back in the car and drive around. Like, I'd wake up in the morning and be like, what do you guys want to do? And they'd be like, can we go swimming in the pool? I'm like, you know what? Yeah.
Yeah.
We can.
Yeah.
I get it.
I do too. And that's the way it is when I go home. It's so hard. You just, the last thing you want to do is drive around
Right.
and do much of anything.
Right.
I know that sounds horrible, but
No,
you know
but it's true.
my stance on vacations.
Right.
I want to relax. I don't want to run myself ragged. It's like when you go to Disney World, there's no relaxing. That is not a relaxing
you're not,
vacation.
I loved it.
You need,
I love Disney. And
I do.
I never got stressed out there.
you don't have 4 kids.
Girl, do not act
Unless
like
you- unless you're talking
we
about Matt.
both
Okay, yes, you
have
do.
large families. And you know what? I would go by myself there with the kids all the time. I love Disney.
But see, I had 2 different age groups, and mine want to do something that the other ones don't. That's what I find. You know what I mean? And then you have Paige, who doesn't
Well,
really
when I
wanna
go
do
there,
much of
I want to go
anything.
drinking, and they want to do kid stuff. So I guess it's kind of the same thing. But I don't.
Yeah, I
that's
need a vacation from
two
that
different
vacation.
personalities. Yeah, I mean, when we would go to like Disney and stuff, I mean, and we live there and we go all the time. I'm a Disney fanatic. I love it. I mean, people, now I was wise enough not to go during certain times. I didn't touch that crap with the 10-foot pole in the summertime or around Christmas. Like,
And
you
we've
just don't.
done both.
See, therein lies your problem.
Yeah.
You go at the wrong time. I don't, because it's too crowded and it's stressful.
Well, one of our other mistakes is we sometimes go with extended family.
No, I
and
don't
the
do that
problem
either.
is you stand around for
Right.
30 minutes trying to decide on one place together.
Right.
And that's not possible.
I don't want to, when I go on trips like that, I don't want to do what other people want to do.
No, and
Do you know
that
what I
sounds-
mean?
Yeah.
Like, and my personality is I want to make you happy.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to agree to stuff that I don't really want to do.
Right.
And I don't want to do that.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, oof. So I agree though that the summer kind of went downhill not went downhill quick, but just kind of seemed to wrap up quick.
Right, it did.
Came to an abrupt end. The summer went by extremely fast. I've
It
heard
did.
that from a lot of people, and I don't know if we had a shorter summer.
No,
right?
I don't think so. I just, for some reason, and I think maybe we say this every year, but it did. It seemed to fly by really fast. Like,
But I don't recall last year going by this fast. I will honestly say that I don't. I don't remember being like, wow, we just literally.
we moved last year, so that was a hard one because it was cut into
Mm-hmm.
two different areas. But I do know, I mean, like I was just thinking about that this morning, that we did VBS at the very beginning of the school year.
Right, we did too.
Or beginning of the summer, and it feels like it was just yesterday. But it really was like we got right out of school, had like a week off, and then I put them in VBS, and it was such a disaster of a week
Right.
with the ear infection and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like it literally was just yesterday. In fact, I get nervous when I'm in the shower getting water in my ear.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm not over the trauma of being so sick, but it really was 2 months ago.
It was, and if I think about it in those terms
Right.
of like VBS and all that, that was eons ago.
Yeah.
So it really
right.
was. I think you just hold on to the fact that you're not really ready. I'm ready for the kids to get back on a routine, trust me, and get some things done, but I'm not ready to get up, be
Right.
forced to get up,
Yeah.
and be forced to do this. I just, say no to the man. You know what I mean? You just get to the
No.
point where you're just
Say
like,
yes to the man, because the man takes your kids for 7 days or 7 hours
7
a day.
days?
No, he takes them for 7 hours a day. So say yes to the man. We wrapped up summer. We went to the movies on Saturday. It was Kubo, which I highly recommend. It was a great movie. The kids loved it, and I loved it. And then afterwards, we went to the
Culvers.
Culvers. And this is a story that a lot of people have been waiting on. We went to Culvers and almost had to call 911. Henry was eating his chicken tender. We literally had just gotten our food, and all of a sudden he started like panicking, and he was panicked. Like, you could look in his face, and it was not your usual, oh no, there's too much ketchup on my tender. He's like, and he can't like talk. He's just like hyperventilating. I'm like, what is wrong with you? And then I noticed that his arm is all construed up. And so I started looking, and his arm had gotten caught in the slat of the chair. I don't know how. He was not bouncing around. He was literally just eating his little crappy, cheap chicken tender. So I go over and I look at it, and he had he had literally gone past the bone that is his elbow, the joint, And it was stuck on the other side. I could not get it out. You could not push. You couldn't pull. You couldn't move it up or down, thinking like the slats are bigger at the top than at the, where he was at. Right. Another guy came over because he noticed that I was struggling with this, and he's trying to help me with it. And he's like, let's go get the manager. So the manager, I go up to get him, and he's like 15. And I said, we need you back here. And he's like, well, what's the matter? I'm like, no. You need to follow me. Like, this is a problem, you know. I'm pretty calm. I'm a little high-fiving myself as how calm I am. So he comes back and he looks and he's like, okay, I'll be right back. Thinking he'll go get a tool or something. He comes back with a little, and in the meantime, like this guy and I, and then another guy had come over and we're trying to figure out how to get this chair apart or get him out. Right. He comes back with one of those little frozen patties of butter.
Those little pads of butter.
That are so cold they tear your bread up. And he wants, I'm like, okay, like one. Not multiples, but one.
Right.
And I'm like, okay. So I take it from him, put it on the counter, on the table. Like, that's just not even, what am I supposed to do with this? Eat him?
Sit on it and let it melt.
Like, marinate him? I don't know what you want me. And, like, meanwhile, his elbow is turning purple. And he's like, well, we might have to call 911. I'm like, really? This is your answer?
I've been like, break the chair. Right, yes. You can eat the cost of the chair instead of me paying the bill.
Like, at least find a screwdriver so we can at least,
Right.
So finally, like, he's like staying out to the side. He doesn't know what to do. I mean, this poor kid is just young and dumb, and he might be a very nice child. Or, well, no, he was a child. Like, I was going to say man, but he was a child. I'm not sure how he got that job, but he was a child. This guy, the two guys, like, each took a slat, and they just heave-hoed with all of their might and pulled it apart so that I could get his elbow out. And the whole restaurant, yay! And we literally went back eating. And there was, like, no double checking to see how we were doing, or I wasn't mad. I'm just like, let's just eat, and then we get our ice cream, and he was all better. So
that's kind of nuts.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
And I was calm, and he was like, I'm surprised the other kids. Jackie was like, we're trying to get the chair apart, and he's stuck, and Jack was completely oblivious. At one time he came over, he's like, Mama, he had his hot dog. He's like, can you cut this up because it's too hot? And I'm like, I'm kind of busy right now. Do you not see everyone surrounding your brother like this? This one woman tried to pour antibacterial lotion onto it to maybe like slick it up a little bit because the butter obviously was not an option.
Right.
So, but yeah, can you cut this up? It's too hot. And I'm like, I'm kind of busy, buddy. You're just going to have to blow on it.
You should have put Maggie in charge of photographing. Right. That way you could have put it, that would have been a definite Instagram pic.
Well, it did occur to me, like, I should be taking pictures of this. But I'm like, no, that's not the right answer. So, and then the next day they were horseplaying, and Maggie pulled him off the bed, and he almost put his teeth through the bottom lip.
Right.
It was just blood everywhere. He's screaming. She's crying because she feels horribly bad. She's like, I was just playing. I'm like, do I look mad? Calm down.
Right.
It was an accident, but yeah, it's all bruised, and the inside looks like ground beef. It's so gross.
Well, Landon actually has a little scar underneath his bottom lip where he literally did put his teeth through when he was about maybe 2 or 3, through his lip.
Yeah.
And I just remember thinking, oh my gosh. But, this is totally off the wall, but Paige poked me in the eyeball with her toothbrush yesterday morning. Like stuff like this is stuff that happens at my house. Like literally just crazy stuff. She turns around and she does this with the toothbrush, and it literally poked me right in the eyeball with the toothpaste on it. And I said, only me. That would only happen in this house. Yes. Yeah. But it's insanity. So yeah.
I feel like we're going kind of backwards instead of forwards on this. Let's talk about the disaster that was Meet the Teacher.
I kind of feel like it's my fault. I made dinner. I made chili in the crock pot, and Copper and the kids came over and ate it. And then we had Jell-O, which obviously had no dye in it. So that was not to blame for what happened next.
I think that my kids' bodies were like rejecting the Jell-O because the bodies are like, we need red 40 or whatever it is.
What we're talking about is how nuts some of our kids went when we went to Meet the Teacher. Not all of our kids were like that.
No.
Literally, Landon was flipping cartwheels in the cafeteria, and I said, what the hell? On what planet is it okay to flip a cartwheel in the cafeteria? Like, you don't do this during school.
Right, there's people.
Why is it okay?
It's so crowded, and he's just doing. He's like, I'm going to do my gymnastics routine. He's like, I'm going to be in the Olympics, and just started flipping around.
I guess so. I guess he thought this was American Ninja Warrior.
Right.
I mean, yeah, they were kind of crazy. They were everywhere. I think they were excited, honestly.
And Jackie just like strolled into his room like with all of his ladies. Like he had Paige, which he knew that they were in the same class, and he gets in there, and a couple of the other kids that he knows are in there, and he's just like, they're all sitting off in the corner by themselves, and they're talking about, I don't know what they talk about, their feelings. I don't know what they talk about, but so he was fine in the classroom, and Maggie just wanted to get it all over because it's too crowded. She can't handle that stuff. So
I don't blame her.
She was like literally folding under herself. And then there was Henry, such an a-hole. Mm-hmm. He decided right off the bat, when we got into the first grade classroom, we had to fill out the paperwork and everything. So I got my phone out because I needed to have like phone numbers. And you were there. He went into full tech meltdown mode, like, yelling, like, give me your phone. I need to have something in my hands to play and all this. I'm like, I'm looking for phone numbers in case something happens to your sister or brother.
Yep.
And he's like trying to grab it from me, and he's crying. And that continued for literally the next hour. And this is why I lost my shit in the first hour of the school year. Mm-hmm. Is he just went into complete, like, yeah. I'm like, I'm just trying to write Miss Heather's number all over all of our paper so they don't call me, they call her. And
thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Someone's got to be my emergency contact.
I know, right?
Versus you.
I put myself. I kind of didn't read I didn't read the directions. After you fill out so many forms, as you know, times 12 for all 12 kids, you're just like, I'm done.
Right.
I can't do this anymore. How many times have I got to write my name? And then they send home all those papers about me, about the kid, about the... And I'm like...
So we got the same form. The tell me about your child, which I love that form because it gives them a little bit of...
But I just want to say my child is a snowflake and she's the sunshine of... but I
So what do you do on those forms? I mean, are you honest? Are you sugarcoating your child? I mean, honestly, has anyone ever said on that form, is there anything...
My kid's a shithead.
Under the question, is there anything I should know about your child? Does anyone ever write, my kid is a shithead, may God have mercy on your soul?
I really wanted to last year for kindergarten because I knew.
Right.
But I thought that was a huge stumbling block for her going into school.
Does that go in their permanent files? Do you really want that? Yeah.
That being said, I kind of go happy medium.
Right.
I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but I'm also not going to paint my kid out to be horrible because who knows? Right. My kid could be an angel for this teacher, whereas they're not at home. You know what I mean? So I don't even remember what I put. I did put on Landon because he does tend to get rambunctious at times because he's a boy. I said he's exceptionally sweet and compassionate. I said, but sometimes he just kind of spins out of control and you just have to recenter him like a top. And I put a little smiley face and, I tried to, I don't know how to make that emoji that has the tongue sticking out, and I should have done that. But I was trying to be as honest as I could, the best of both.
One that I think Maggie's super easy, so hers is generally, I usually try to warn them that she's very introverted, so that sometimes that comes off as, is there something bothering her? And it's like, no, she's extremely uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. So, like if she's off by herself observing, trust me, that's her happiest place to be, so she doesn't want to necessarily be
pulled into it all.
Right. But with Jackie, I think I wrote something to the effect of, he's incredibly smart, he's incredibly curious. These are all great things, but you need to be prepared because with that comes so many questions. Like, it's all the time. And it's okay for you to say, we're not going to do that right now.
Right,
you do have to focus him because his little mind goes 24/7 and it doesn't always go in the same direction you want it to go in. So I'm clear on that, I'm not sure what I'm going to write on Henry's form. I've not decided yet. I'm like, he gives good hugs. I don't know. And you need to remember that because at other times you're going to want to throttle him. So
it is hard. I know. I can promise you nobody's totally
just wonder,
honest.
I want to know, is anyone super honest on that and just says, I hope you drink because you're going to need to?
I hope not because like I said, I think that's a disservice to that poor kid.
Right.
Because that kid could go in there and be the best kid ever for that teacher.
Well, and often you don't really know, how they're going to behave for other people.
Right. Like with Paige, she's totally, knock on wood.
She's always very good
she's
for
great,
me. Right.
yeah. And I think she handles her issues better even with, when she's in public like that than she would if she was at home. So, But yeah, so yeah, all those forms. Oh my God.
It's a lot. And it's just going to, for the next couple of weeks, I think there'll be forms after forms.
I know Aubrey brought home a ton of forms that night.
Did she?
I literally sat at the table with all of the
and just
stacks.
went bang, 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 bang.
I did.
Mm-hmm.
I did. I was like, oh my gosh, yeah.
Oh, sugar, what was I going to say? I can't remember. Oh, and then Jack got Superstar next week or whatever, Star Student. Mm-hmm. So that's more forms, which I'm happy. I'm like, yay for my little boy. So, but you have to fill out this cute little poster about.
Yes, I remember that.
Yes, I love it. So.
We still have ours.
Do you? I'm going to keep it, I think. I'm pretty proud of
I folded it and put it in the little thing because Emma, when she did hers, obviously she put my stepdad on there.
Right.
And so you actually put pictures on there. So we left it all, and then I just folded it up and kept it because,
it's sweet.
That's
a keeper for sure. Some things are not. That's a keeper.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I actually came home yesterday in the folder, and there was that, and there was a bunch of other papers. I'm like, some of these are keepers, and this is all just right into the recycle bin.
Yep.
So,
yep.
Hey, let's talk about that sign. The school sign. Let me read it for you. I have it brought up.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to read it.
I'm sorry.
So Heather came to me and she's like, we need to talk about this. Principal somewhere. I don't know. I see the sign come up every year, and every year I agree with it. Oh, I shouldn't even said that yet. But every time the sign comes up, everyone, they post it because it's a good reminder. But it says, this year's version, big stop sign. If you are dropping off your son's forgotten lunch, books, homework, equipment, etc., please turn around and exit the building. Your son will learn to problem solve in your absence.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I agree. And I have the only time I've ever not followed that was the one time one of my really small kids left their lunch.
Right.
I did. We lived extremely close to our school, so I had no problem with that. And one other time they left their school folder. After that, I decided, nope,
there's
not
your
going to
lesson.
happen.
You've been saved once, and that's it.
And Aubrey multiple times in middle school would text me and tell me she left this, she left that, and I'd say, I'm sorry, you should have remembered it.
Right.
Or just be the bad mom I am sometimes, and I ignored the text like it never existed. But then she's very persistent, and she'll text me like 20 more times. But I can't ignore all 21 of those texts, darling. Don't think I can.
Right.
But
you want to play this game? Yep. I'm the master.
I am. Oh yeah. So I agree. I mean, if you're going to enable your child all the way up until high school by when are they ever going to learn to be an adult?
Right.
Like they're not going to starve to death. Trust me, because I know where we live. At least, if you don't have money, they will give you a free lunch, which is like a PB&J.
And I think it's a PB&J and a milk and a banana or an apple or something.
It's
so your needs are met.
Yes, and if you get in trouble because you didn't bring your project, well, guess what? You'll remember that project next time.
I agree.
Absolutely.
I think we're on the same page here.
Yeah. I kind of thought when I texted you about it and your reply, I was like, oh, maybe she thinks differently. And I was like, no, she doesn't. No, she can't.
Only because sometimes I and I know that you do too, we have that inner need to take care of their needs.
Right.
And I struggle a lot of times with saying, I'm not going to do this. I'm not your maid. Mm-hmm. I'm not your chauffeur.
Right.
I'm not your servant. You need to learn how to do this stuff yourself. That being said, it hasn't come up really for us, mostly because we put our folders in our backpack. Mm-hmm. I make lunch, and the lunches go into the backpack. I mean, it just goes straight into the backpack. So, it's double checked before we left the house. I am not like that with any other part of my life. I have literally been forgetting to give my friend a painting I made for her for almost 4 months now. And I've seen her multiple times. Yeah. For when it comes down to their school stuff, we double check before we leave the house that's in there. So it hasn't come up. But you know what? When it does, you'll live. Our school doesn't even give them their stuff immediately. So when you drop it off, it sits at that front desk until they have someone come around and gather it. Mm-hmm. So they're not even going to, the damage is already done.
Right.
And that's fine. My exception to that would be if it's something that falls under, it was my fault. So, like if I said I was going to, and we don't have sports now, but when we do, or if we do, I don't, probably not. But, if my kids ever decide to be sporty, if I said I was going to wash their uniform and I decided to have 4 beers and watch Netflix instead of doing laundry that night after they went to bed, then yes, in the morning when I'm done, I will run it up to them. Mm-hmm. That's my fault. That's on me.
Right.
But if they take their folder out for some reason and don't put it back in there. If they don't follow through with my instructions that I literally say every morning, Mommy's done with your lunches, go put them in your bag.
Yep.
That's on them.
Yeah.
Because I've done my part. They need to do theirs, and then it will get there.
And Aubrey did that multiple times last year. I would take the time to make her lunch, and, and I'd take it and give it to her in the car. And she would inevitably forget it. She would leave it sitting in the floorboard.
Maybe on purpose, maybe on accident.
Yeah, so she got to the point where I literally would sit it right on top of her. And I thought, if you don't put it in your bag, then you're doing it on purpose, and so be it.
Then you're going to starve. That's not my problem.
No, and she did come home several times and say, I haven't eaten all day. And I was like, well, I'm sorry. I made you a huge lunch. And now that food is wasted because, I didn't realize you forgot it, and it sat in the floorboard of the car all day.
I, totally forgot to talk about the glue gun.
Oh, the glue gun. Oh, my gosh. When we went to lunch the other day, Copper has this, I don't even know what the hell this glue gun is sitting on the table for. But I look over, and she's got the world's tiniest glue gun. And I said, is that to wax a mustache or something? It was the size of, oh my gosh, I don't even know, smaller than your cell phone.
It was a piece of shit.
It was tiny. And just explain to me why it was sitting on the damn table.
Because I keep it in my purse because I need to return it to Target.
So you're just going to return it like that? Like there's no packaging?
Well, I had put it, what I had done is I had
purse on the counter and say, here you go.
I had ran to Target and I needed to get a glue gun.
That was not a glue gun.
And I didn't, no, it wasn't. No, but that's not on me. That's on Target. So I needed a glue gun. I was too lazy to make 2 trips. So at Target, I ran into their little craft section. I picked up this cheap $7.99 glue gun. And I went to plug it in to use it to glue those composition books together. It didn't work. I mean, 15 minutes in, it still wasn't melting anything. So luckily there was an extra one, but I'm like, I'm just going to return it.
Right.
So, yeah. So I need to return it. But I had not, I still have the packaging at home.
You just have the glue gun in your purse in case someone needs a wax job while you're out.
Yeah. Out to lunch, have some nachos, and we'll wax our mustaches.
Because I highly doubt that wax gets hot enough to do anything.
It was sad. It was so sad. So I'm going to take it back to Target and return it.
Target's
You think we need one closer. I don't think we do.
You don't because you think you go there
spend too much money.
I do just because I don't like leaving the bubble. Right. But I love the dollar spot in Target. I have to say, hands down, whoever buys their products for that spot is banging. They're on it. They know what they're doing. Yeah. That is some super cute stuff.
I got some really cute things for the
teachers. Holy
teachers.
cow, is it cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that stuff blows the Dollar Tree. There's not even competition.
Right. You said blows the dollar.
That's what she said. But yeah, no, and we probably don't need one here because you're right. Yeah. I can talk myself out of a lot of things by saying yes, but I don't have enough time.
Well, when we lived in the front, I'd hit that bad boy several times a week, and now that I'm in the back, and it's a little bit more of a drive. I mean, it's really only 10, 15 minutes.
It is, but
we're lazy.
And it's the point that sometimes you don't have enough time to get to the front, get to the store, shop, and then get back in time because you don't know how traffic is going to be up there at 494.
I don't want to deal with people. I have Amazon.
I love Amazon.
Me too.
I was going to ask you. I tried out a service called Jet.com. Have you ever heard of it? It's like an online warehouse club. It's kind of like Sam's or whatever. I was just wondering. I tried it out. That's kind of random, but I just wanted to ask.
It's all online, but it's like the bigger.
It is, and the more you buy, the more you buy, the cheaper the prices go down.
I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Jet.com.
Yeah, I bought the dog's food. The huge bag of dog's food.
Yes, his fancy food that he doesn't even eat.
Yeah, right. And toilet paper and stuff like that. Stuff that I didn't really want to have to buy. Right. Go to the store and buy. But that's random. Sorry.
That's okay.
So,
you went and saw a movie, didn't you?
I did. Yesterday, Leslie, my friend, and I went to see Bad Moms.
I skipped going with you because I had already seen it.
That movie, hands down, probably, other than The Hangover and The Bridesmaids, top 3 funniest movie I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, I died laughing.
That was the funniest shit ever. Oh my God, was that funny. There were 8 of us in the theater because, it's in the middle of school. Right. It's just moms. There's one man over here. I don't know what he was thinking. And we're literally all, shouting at the screen.
Right.
Punch that bitch. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about.
Yes,
that PTA president, man, Christina Applegate.
Was horrible.
She was.
She was just awful.
if you thought that that's what PTA was like, you would never join PTA.
Right.
Because she is queen of I don't even know how to describe it. Like, wow, she was mean girl.
She was so nasty.
Yeah.
At the end of the movie, not to ruin it, but I'm going to ruin it. At the end of the movie, they turn it around where her life is falling apart and she's not perfect either. And then they all become best friends. I'm like, no.
This is not how that movie should have ended.
Yeah, and you need to just leave her in the mud.
I would have walked over to her and I would have been like, yeah, sorry.
Right. And she was just and she did a great job being her, but she's just a very ugly character. And my only disappointment in the movie was the fact that they turn it around.
Yes, I agree.
Became their little friends.
I agree.
Right. So
it's like, what are we? We've become a world of we've got to make everybody happy.
Right. Like
the total ending of that movie would have been them totally dissing her and walking away. Because she had literally, she didn't have much remorse. I know it's a movie.
Right.
But even her apology was not a real apology.
Right.
Like, it was kind of I'm really sorry for what I did to your kid. Well, yeah, I need more than that because what you did was nastiness.
Yeah, and I like the things that she did. I'm not going to do that so that you still have something to learn. But I mean, she was just a horrible person.
Yeah, she was. She reminds me of that movie.
She wasn't just
Mean
nasty.
Girls.
She was horrible. Like, she potentially ruined lives.
Yeah.
Over PTA.
That movie was great, though, I have to say. I love Mila Kunis.
Martha Stewart is in that movie, and she plays this amazing version of herself. It's so hilarious.
Yes, she has jello shots for breakfast.
Yes. I just realized that Henry's going to go to preschool, and I'm always like, what am I going to do with my free time? I can go to the movies.
$5 movies, and I have a couple of little movie tips for you that I learned yesterday. We get to the concession. I bought the tickets, and we get there, and Leslie says, it's my treat for the food. I was like, okay. I said, I wish they had a smaller popcorn, and she said, they do. They have the senior citizens.
Yes.
And I was like, but I'm not a senior citizen. And the boy standing behind the counter, he's like 12. He's like, it doesn't matter. You can have it. I was like, really? He's like, yeah. So for $5.75, you get this perfect bag of popcorn.
With a little drink.
It's a small drink. Yeah. It is a small drink. I was like, score. And so then we go over to the butter machine, and you butter the hell out of the top, and inevitably halfway down,
it's dry.
It's dry as dirt. It's just dry popcorn that I no longer want to eat. And the button got stuck on it, so I yell at the guy. It's literally like pouring butter, and it's like splashing all over me and Leslie, and I'm like, get out of the way. And the little guy just looks at me, and finally it stops. So we walk over, and I was telling him about the butter, and he says, there's a secret. He said, if you put a straw in your popcorn,
this is amazing.
The butter goes all the way down to, I was like, that is the best tip ever. Holy cow, where have you been my whole life?
So just to reiterate, when you have your bag of popcorn, grab one of those straws, stick the straw into the middle of your popcorn, and then the stream of butter goes into the straw. I'm using hand motions like people can see me, just so you know. And then
I'm still blown away.
The butter goes through the straw into your peanut butter.
To more of the popcorn. I know. That's like the best life hack ever for the movies. I was just like that and the senior citizen popcorn. But
this is amazing. It's a life changer.
I know. Yeah. So basically, if you go by yourself, you'll spend about $11 at the movies, which food and everything.
Oh my gosh.
Which is amazing.
I just realized
So I found my new escape.
This is on my list of things.
From reality.
I'm going to go to the movies once a week.
I know. I know. And they sell margaritas. The girls in front of us had margaritas.
Have we just met? You think I don't know they sell booze there?
I didn't know that because I don't.
Although I still sneak my own booze in. But they do sell booze there.
But I just say, I think I would pass out if I drank a margarita and watched a movie because it's kind of like relaxing in the movies.
Never happened.
Really?
I've done it a lot. Like a lot.
Yeah. But absolutely. I know. I agree. Movies.
Sometimes I take a 40 in there.
There's like nobody in there. It's so nice.
Yeah, I know.
So yeah, Bad Moms is awesome. So we were talking about it earlier. In October, we're going to do a Bad Moms hashtag challenge for Instagram. So stay tuned.
Right.
All those bad mom moments that you have, which I have lots of them. I don't know about you.
No, every day. Every day.
I wanted to tell real quick. We were like so scattered this week. I took some very sage wisdom from a couple of seasoned professionals, and
which is me. She's talking about me.
To save my sanity, I don't know if you guys knew, but I had two blogs. One was my blog that was just about food dye, One Fed Up Mommy, and then one was Our Life So Far, which was more personal.
Right.
And it just got to be too much, so I merged the two, and you can find me back at One Fed Up Mommy for everything. So hopefully you guys won't be too offended when you see my personal stuff mixed in with the food
informational information.
Yes,
I should be a lady of words.
But yeah, so I just wanted to say that real quick. But I also
So the name of the blog again is from now on.
It's One Fed Up Mommy.
One Fed Up Mommy.
Which I actually had someone who knew me from,
yeah.
and I was like, I'm like a celebrity. Yeah, you have to know the whole story. I'm not really a celebrity, but
I was impressed.
I was kind of too.
I mean, not that I didn't think you were capable of it, but I'm like, dang, girl, you get around.
Well, it's funny because it's, you want something that people remember,
right?
So, but yeah. So anyway, that's
very good.
That's that. But Copper has a Instagram challenge.
So I did a challenge in July because Heather's always like, you need to up your Instagram game. Instagame. There you go. We just penned a new word.
Yeah.
And I did a challenge in July, and there was no specific topic underneath it, but I tried to do a picture every day, and I did hashtags with it because on Instagram that's supposed to increase your traffic, and it did. It was amazing. Right. It was fun. I met cool people and some really iffy people that I quickly blocked. But so is the world of social media. So I was going to definitely do it again, and I wasn't going to do it so quickly because it is a lot of work, but I kind of came up with the fact that my kids are going to all be in school this year. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be the first time in 9 years that I'm alone.
Yeah. So
the house that we live in right now, I have only been alone in this house for 3 hours. Total.
That's nuts.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Oh, until the summer when VBS. So I did have that time. It was glorious. It was like a little sneak preview into what was going to happen.
It is nice.
But before VBS, 3 hours tops is the amount of time that I've been in this house alone without my children. So I'm going to do a challenge on Instagram, and I've started it Monday through Friday for 6 weeks. So it's going to be 30 posts of what I'm up to. And that's basically it. So what does Copper decide to do with her time without the kids around? So the hashtag for the challenge is NDFMC, which are the initials of my blog, challenge. And then so you can look them up that way. Go onto Instagram and follow me, and you can see it that way as well. If you want to play along, please do. I would love that. Use that hashtag and show me what you're up to while you're adjusting back to that back to school life. So
sorry.
It's all right.
I like I said,
this week has been kind of a throwaway week.
It has. It's hard to adjust to everything. And this week has been a weird week because like tomorrow we already have a early release. Release. So it's just been really nuts trying to get adjusted to everything. But I did have
next week will be so much better.
It will. Get back in the swing of things.
Yeah. Stay in love. Henry starts preschool on Monday, so I'm not in the least bit really, really excited about that.
Yeah.
So meet the teachers today for him.
It'll be okay.
It's going to be great. I mean, as long as he stays there and he behaves. So I don't have a lot of hope. His babysitter stopped by last night to drop something off. Super sweet high school girl. I mean, like, she's adorable. I love her. He's like, hey, Miss Gabby, I'm a pain in the ass. And I'm like, okay. Like, these are things we can't say to people. You are, but we can't tell people this. Like, we can't use those words, buddy.
Right. Well, it's an adjustment. And honestly, we'll get through it. We will be fine.
Right.
You will be fine. And I wanted to mention a couple of things before we go. We have 2 blog posts up that if you guys want to check them out. Yours was really a
downer.
Good one.
Super downer.
It was good. It was. It was. So.
Do I need to talk about it?
Well, just. You don't have to talk about it.
Right.
Just
well, it's no secret that I struggle with a lot of anxiety and depression, and it was just a bad time for me. So I decided to write about it, and it was really spur of the moment. I was actually cleaning, and I'm like, I think I need to get these words out, and I did.
But that's the best way.
Right, and that's proof of, like, what we do and why we do it is it's kind of, you guys being there and reading it and listening to it are an added bonus for us. It's a very selfish reason why we do it is for us. It made me feel better when I did it, and it just happened to come out very fluid. and well accepted. So,
but it's nice and raw and real.
Right.
I have a friend, Joy, who I went to high school with, that she mentioned she likes us because, we're real,
Right.
And we are, and that's what that is.
I don't have the energy to sugarcoat shit, so
No, I don't either. And I have to tell you that brings me to my last blog post.
That bitch.
There is a blog post out there. I don't know if anybody's seen it, but she was very bitter and very mean to mommy bloggers.
Right.
She just basically said, we're all wasting our time. We all suck. And why should we do it? And nobody would read it. And it's just very, it really hit home with me because I don't do it. I do it because I love to write.
Right.
I do.
And
not
this happens to be your
same.
subject right now in life.
Yes.
This is where you're at in life,
and that's
your
right.
subject.
It's
right.
a good writer writes what he knows, and I know kids, and that's kind of what it is. But yeah, people.
She was and I was very happy with your article because it was a nice comeback. You did not give her the time of day in it as well, which made me happy. You did not. You brought her up.
Right. You don't want to bring her traffic.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. You don't want people reading it.
You don't need to read her blog. You just need to know it was very disparaging. It was disgusting.
It's very detailed and mean.
It was very mean. And it's one thing to say this is not for me anymore.
Right.
I've outgrown it.
Right. Absolutely.
It kind of sounds like she'd been rejected one too many times, and she was very bitter about that. If I was going to be honest and catty, she sounded like a rejected bitch. I mean, I can't say anything.
I just can't understand what her objective was in it. It was just pure nastiness. Like you say, if it's not for you anymore, you write a goodbye post and say, this is just not working out for me.
I've moved on to something else.
I just don't get it.
Right.
So I don't know. But
it was very ugly, and you had a nice comeback to it. So
it was.
I really enjoyed that.
But
so go over there and read it.
Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah. All right. Well, we don't know what we're gonna do next week.
No, not yet.
Not yet. We'll let you know. The one thing we do want to bring up is we would really like to start doing a little blurb about your comments or interactions with us. Mm-hmm. So we're going to post on the Facebook page our email address. And, of course, you can always PM us on there, too. Is that the right word, PM?
Or post on our wall.
Right. That's true. Mm-hmm. If you have any comments or if there's a topic you want us to talk about or you have a question you want us to answer, please let us know and we will give you a shout out on the podcast and talk about it. And if you have a great topic, then we'll run with it, and we'll give you all the credit.
Yep, absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
So we'll get that posted on Facebook, so get over there and look at it. It's not like it's a complicated email. It's lifeunderthelaundrypile@gmail.com. So
yeah, right. So definitely, yeah, we love interaction.
Right.
It just helps, like I said before, it helps solidify.
Right.
And it makes you feel better.
Plus, it's fun. Like, I want to answer your questions.
Right.
What do you want us to answer?
Right.
We'll do a truth and dare. Yes, let's do that. That would be fun.
With Rumchata?
Why not?
That's right.
Sure.
Absolutely. So,
all right.
Just a quick reminder again.
Oh, yeah.
About our blogs.
I forget this every week. Every week I'm like, oh, yeah, we need to do that.
Gotta give a shout out. Cupper's over at neverdrinkfrommommiescup.com. And I'm onefedupmommy.com. So if you look for us, you'll find us. We're out there. So.
And remember to get onto Instagram.
Yep, we got it everywhere. We're everywhere.
Yes.
So
yeah. Anything else?
I think that's it.
All right.
I think so. Happy back to school.
Yes. Bye.
Bye.